Am I able to fit every single last service necessary into a starting typical grid in Cities Skylines 2 to produce a successful, profitable city that spans across far more tiles than what is catered for in our services area? Well, that is all going to be covered in this video today, so stay tuned. Well, here we are, guys. This is where our city begins. Everything within this tile here is going to consist of our services, and these borders will not allow any form of service building to exist external of them. It doesn't matter if you're 1 millimeter across, we are not having it. So we are going to be building, very similarly to the last episode, a city where our services are completely confined within this grid. Last episode, we had it within one singular grid standardized to Cities Skylines 2. That went really well. That almost went too well. We got to a population of 20,000 with very little traffic, very little issues. I want more of a challenge. And so in this episode today, we have got ourselves something 9 times bigger. We've got a grid 3x3, 9 tiles in total, very much like the starting tile when you begin this game. So let's get started, guys. First things first, it's obviously going to be energy. If you remember from the last episode, if you saw it, we started off with a small coal power plant. They're small, they're compact, however, they don't produce much energy at only 20 megawatts. So we upgraded to the gas power plant at 250 megawatts, still not taking up that much space. However, you might have come to realize that we've got a pretty big grid here, and so we could upgrade to a big coal power plant if we wanted to. Maybe even, well, potentially a geothermal power plant, I suppose. Maybe even a solar power plant. However, I then gazed over to the nuclear power plant. Electricity production of 750 megawatts. This thing is huge. It would have taken up an entire grid in the last episode I did of this. However, considering we've got a nice big starting grid here, I think we can afford to have it. So we're going to put our power plant down just like this, with a nice supporting road coming all the way along. So let's hope this lines up perfectly. We've got 2, 5, 6, 7, and we've got 8. Okay, that is perfect. We're going to have these power lines underground so they don't cause too much of an eyesore in our area here. And we're going to connect up all of these transformer stations as well. Now, if you guys remember from the last episode, if you did see it, I had myself a pretty cool system of road networks where I had like a ring road going around here. That was almost too efficient. It worked too well. And I want a bit of a challenge. I want a challenge, guys. So what I'm actually going to do instead today is try something different, where we're going to have ourselves one road, only one road, a connecting road in one side, out the other, and it is going to be the only road going through our services area. Next things up is going to be waste disposal, absolutely. We're going to go for an industrial waste processing unit because we simply have the space, and we most definitely are going to need it considering we're going to be building a huge city here. So 250 garbage trucks are going to suffice, I think. And so we're going to stick one right here. We will definitely need some capacity for recycling, so we're going to stick 2 recycling centers along here. Considering we've got our pollution sorted because this is downwind, we're going to stick an incineration plant down as well. We're going to forget about landfill because we don't really actually need it for the time being. Now, the thing I'm thinking right now, guys, is this area is going to be absolutely saturated with garbage trucks. And so we're going to need some kind of direct route onto this main road as an absolute priority. So what if we build ourselves some parallel roads here? I feel like that actually isn't straight. My perfectionism is coming out now. Let's try that again with the actual parallel line tool, considering we've got it in the game. Here we go. That is a lot better. Okay, we've got that sorted now. We're going to chuck in a pretty significant roundabout here to actually service this area. And things are looking pretty nice. I'm very happy with this so far. So how about we move on to education? And we're going to keep education as far away from the pollution as possible in this corner. And let's start with our largest complexes. We've got a medical university here. We also have a technical university and a standard uni campus. However, considering we've got the space, I don't see why we can't have them all put together, guys. So what if we start off with a technical university right in the corner here? We're also going to get ourselves a medical university, considering it is, well, I was going to say small, but relative, I suppose, to our tile. It's pretty small. And we've got some pretty nice upgrades here as well, like an extension wing. Let's go for a practice clinic along here as well. Actually, I just realized what the practice clinic does. It basically just increases capacity for patients. And that's what a hospital is going to be for, so we're going to leave that out. However, research facility increases chances of graduation. I guess we've got space. How about we go for just one little research facility here, and then we're actually going to put in our proper university now. How about we stick it literally next to our nuclear power plant here? I mean, it doesn't really matter if you live all the way there or here. There's a meltdown. Well, you know what's going to happen. So we can have it nearby, especially considering it's non-polluting. Now, this roundabout here is going to be our sort of waste and industrial access point. So we're actually going to have ourselves a little road here, nothing substantial or significant, nothing to slow the traffic down too much, to connect to our power facility here. However, we're going to have ourselves another roundabout here, guys, not too far away, and this is going to be our educational roundabout. So we are going to have a 4-lane road coming up here because I can imagine it's going to get pretty popular in this section. However, before we connect that up, we're going to have to consider our elementary and high school students first. But I want this to sort of, have some kind of traffic management to it. So what we're going to have is a 2-lane road that comes down here, which is going to service our university. However, we're also going to have a 2-lane road here that services our high schools and elementary schools. Let's start off with City Elementary Schools, and we are just going to absolutely blanket them across here. And we'll do the exact same on the other side of the road for our city high schools, just like this. And my God, I dread to think what the school run is going to be like at 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock every day here because, well, this is excessive. Just making sure we add in all the upgrades necessary for this as well. Although it just dawned on me, I have completely forgotten an absolutely critical step for our educational system, which are colleges. And so we're also going to have this road here, and we're going to chuck in a few colleges here, making sure we add all of the upgrades necessary. Okay, and this now should absolutely do the job for education. We're then going to have our access points along this road here. I dread to think how busy it is going to get. Hopefully it's nothing that a few large roundabouts can't fix. And I think this is pretty cool. So our first turnings for our colleges, second turnings for our elementary and high schools, and our last turning here is for our universities. Next things up is going to be our healthcare. Let's stick it in this corner here, still away from our pollution, making sure we get ourselves a nice health research institute. We most definitely have space for this, so we're going to make the most of it, as well as a hospital, which we're going to upgrade as much as we possibly can. And hell, why do we even stop at one? Let's put a couple more in here. I've come to realize I can't actually add a helipad here because it overlaps with this, which is a nice little detail I've never noticed before in Cities Skylines 2. Probably because I've never built 2 hospitals in such proximity because I'm not typically a nutcase like I obviously am today. We will build ourselves a disease control center. Ooh, the helipad is going to overlap. So actually what we're going to do is relocate this hospital to along this road here. So then we have space to chuck in our beautiful disease control center right here. And this hopefully means we can actually add a helipad to this one now, so it all works out in the end. And what if we add in another hospital here? Oh no, we actually can't because of the overlapping item here. To be honest with you guys, I mean 3 massive hospitals, a health research institute, and a disease control center. If there is still demand for healthcare at this point, then I'm just going to put it down to the fault of our citizens, like they're obviously not taking care of themselves enough. So there we go, and we're going to chuck in a lovely big roundabout once again here for our medical facilities. Next things up is going to be policing, and that's going to justify another road, so we're going to bring one down here. And let's take a look at what we can put down. So we have got ourselves a city police station, which is relatively small, actually. We've got a police headquarters as well. I just want to know if this is like a single building you can plop, or you can just put as many as you want. You can actually put as many as you want. So what we're going to do is remove this for a second because that was ever so slightly too small of a grid. But if we expand it a little bit like this, guys, we can literally build ourselves an infinite, almost infinite number of police headquarters, which is making sure we get every single upgrade possible. This is looking pretty nice. On the other side of here, how about we add in, oh my goodness, this prison is huge. Let's chuck in a few prisons because once again, we don't want criminals. And we're also going to add in the Central Intelligence Bureau because why not? And why not have it right next? Oh my God, that is an ugly building. That is a, okay, well that's a weird, yeah, that's a weirdly shaped building. I don't know why they would have chosen. Anyways, okay, so we've got our policing buildings here, which is very, very nice. Wonder if we can get ourselves a road that kind of curves around this a little bit, which we seem to be doing. And so policing is officially sorted. Next things up is fire protection, obviously. So we're going to bring ourselves a lovely, beautiful road out here. Considering we have loads of space, I think the city firehouse would be actually better like efficiency, but we've got the space. So let's add in a load of fire stations as well for our citizens. We're going to bring ourselves another little junction out here for a firefighting helicopter depot as well, which I think will be really, really cool. And we're also going to add in some disaster response units into each of these builds here, just so we're maximizing our coverage in case there is an unexpected earthquake, I suppose. Admin is also really critical. So coming off this roundabout that goes to our policing hub, we're also going to have ourselves a road that's going to house some very critical buildings, such as our central bank and our city hall. And why don't we go for a welfare office as well? And I just realized that roundabout is not for police, that is for our healthcare, but that's not a problem. They all seem to be pretty happy there, which is fantastic. we're going to need a water treatment plant because we have nowhere to dump our sewage. Very similarly to the last episode where I did this on a smaller grid, I have built this very conveniently away from our river, so let's get onto that now. It's going to be pretty polluting, so I don't see why we can't have it like in this area here. And what on earth is this? The Large Hadron Collider. We can actually build a particle accelerator? Oh my god, this thing is massive. I'm so tempted to build this just as a challenge. And you know what, guys? That is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm so sorry. We have literally just built these. However, I have got other plans. I'm sorry, but surely you guys agree. If I have the chance and opportunity to build a blooming particle accelerator, surely, I need to make the most of that. I mean, it's actually quite hard of a building to distinguish. Like, it just goes from grass to grass. So we're going to try and make sure that we have ourselves a bit of a border around here so we know where it begins and ends. And whilst we're at it, why don't we go for a geological research center along here as well? And let's go for a radio telescope. I mean, we've got the space, which means water treatment will now have to be slightly, ever so slightly diverted. However, I think this area here will do the job. Now, last time I did this, last week, I completely forgot an absolute necessity, which is death care. And so we're going to absolutely line this road up here with crematoriums, making sure we have ourselves also plenty of upgrades for this, for our capacity. We're going to add in additional incinerators and garages for hearses. And oh god, this is a bit morbid, but they've got a refrigerator expansion as well. I didn't even see that before. Okay, there we go. Death care sorted. Next thing up, water. We've dealt with our water treatment, but we're going to have to source our water somehow. So how about we get ourselves some water towers as far away as possible from our polluting areas? And we are just going to absolutely line these up. Let's try and do something aesthetic, considering we've got the space. Maybe I'm getting a bit cocky now. So here we go. Have I missed anything out this time, guys? Because I remember last time I completely forgot about death care, but I think we've sorted everything out, surely. I mean, we're going to have to start zoning in soon because we are losing nearly $5 million a month, which is not acceptable in the slightest. And so, guys, I've built ourselves a pretty snazzy grid around here, which I think will do the job for the majority of our residential area. So we just have to connect things up now. And there we go. Beautiful big junction leading to our city here. Just need to zone in some industrial area now, down here, downwind. Perfect. I just realized I forgot a very important thing in the form of a telecom tower. That's going to cover our entire city here, which is amazing. And so all we have to do now is start to zone things in. So just before I press unpause now, I've come to realize that although we've got loads and loads of water towers, this nuclear power plant absolutely eats up water to the extent that we need way more than we already have. We're also going to put ourselves loads by our education district because, well, there's no pollution around here. And we have some lining our beautiful education district. So, okay, guys, I'm just going to play the simulation now, and we're going to see what happens. We've got demand for literally everything. We've got all the services that our people could ever want, so I'm just going to leave it here now, and we'll see what happens. Guys, it seems like we have grown significantly, which is absolutely awesome. I am fearful of coming out of this view because I feel like we're going to have 1,000,001 problems face us, but let's see what's happening. Oh my goodness, just like last time, guys, there are literally, there are a few complaints, but there are practically none, which I am very happy about. We've got a lovely population of 4,500, slowly, gradually creeping up. I mean, we have just got ourselves more and more stuff zoning in, which is wonderful. Traffic's obviously a problem, which we never doubted would be a thing, but generally speaking, things seem to be working pretty smoothly and nicely. I'm actually going to make a bit of an upgrade to this road network because I feel like however beautiful these roundabouts are, realistically, we could do with some elevated junctions instead. So we've got ourselves a pretty nice bridge that comes over here now. Yeah, we definitely need to get rid of traffic lights here because it's just going to cause ridiculous problems. But we'll continue to let this run and we'll see what happens a little bit later on, guys. Well, here we are a little bit later on, and I can guarantee you absolutely 100% sure that we have grown significantly more than our other city we made last week, where we were only using one single small tile to house our services. And it most definitely seems like us having an extra 8 tiles to play with for our services has allowed for far more of a metropolis to form. I mean, I personally have never made suburban grids this extensive before. It's crazy. It seriously is how big we've made this whole area. And I can officially confirm we're getting close to a population of 30,000, which is just going to continue to skyrocket, which is most definitely a population significantly higher than what we got in our last version of this once we reached this point. And so there we go, guys. We have succeeded with our project, and I cannot stress how much I enjoy doing this. So please do hit a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more content like this in Cities Skylines 2, then make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on a brand new video covering exciting new challenges just like this one. If you have any more suggestions as to what I could do in this amazing, wonderful game, then make sure you leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Thank you all so very much for joining me on this wonderful, exciting adventure, and I will see you all very, very soon.